Hello, my name is Helen Rennie, and I want to show you how to take a chicken apart to make a boneless breast roast and a bone-in leg roast. Why are we messing with Mother Nature like this? That's because the legs taste best at 180 Fahrenheit and the breasts at 150. If we keep the chicken together, there is no way to achieve that. Now let's get to it. I pulled up the skin from the top of the breast so that I can get to the wishbone. I'm following around it with a paring knife. The wishbone is shaped like a triangle. If you're not sure where to cut, just stick in your finger and feel around. Be careful when you pull out the wishbone. It tends to break and come out in two pieces that can be sharp. With a boning knife, trim the wings by cutting them at the second joint. If you feel that you're hitting the bone, wiggle your knife until you're cutting through the joint. You never want to cut through the bone when deboning poultry. You want to cut through the white cartilage. You can save the wingtips for stock. Now, pull one leg away from the body and cut through the skin, giving the breast as much skin as possible. In other words, cut as close to the leg as you can. Pull the leg open and let the hip joint pop. Cut through that joint and separate the leg. Don't forget to get the oyster. That's the most delectable piece of the chicken, located between the leg and the spine. And the same on the other side. Leg up, cut out the oyster. Here is this yummy nugget. Go through the hip joint. And we are halfway there. Now let's do the breasts. Put the chicken on its side and find the wings joint. Let's cut through it. Remember that we are only cutting through cartilage, not the bone. Now let's start following the rib cage with your knife from the side of the chicken to the front of the breastbone. You should always feel something hard on one side of your knife. That's the rib cage. If you ever feel that your knife is surrounded by meat alone, stop immediately. It means that you are leaving some breast meat on the bone. Go back to the spot where you could still feel the rib cage and try again. After following the ribs for a while, your knife will hit the center breastbone that separates the two breasts. Angle your knife to go up this bone, but stop when you reach the skin of the breast. You don't want to cut through the skin. And now let's do the other side. If all went well, we should have two completely free breasts that are only attached to the bone with the skin that is between them. Flip your chicken so that the breasts are lying on the skin and the carcass is above them. Hold the carcass with one hand and cut it off. You'll be cutting through the skin, but it's relatively thick in this part, so enough of it will stay to hold the two breasts together. Congrats, you just cut up a chicken. Now let's clean up the chewy parts. Take a look under the skin in the thick part of the breast. There's usually a lot of fat hiding there. I prefer to scrape it out to help the skin get thin and crispy during cooking. Now take a look at the meat. Each breast will have a white sinew running through it. Grab it with one hand and cut it off. And the same on the other breast. Let's sprinkle the breasts with salt and pepper on the flesh side and on the skin side. Now let's carefully pull back the skin from the thick part and sprinkle a bit of salt and pepper under the skin too. Now let's season the legs on the flesh side, on the skin side. Pull back that skin and a little over the thick part of the thigh under the skin. You see these pieces by themselves, By the time the skin gets crispy enough, the meat will get tough and dry. But luckily, there is an easy solution to this life's persistent problem called kitchen twine. We'll double them up, making them twice as bulky and giving the skin extra time to crisp without overcooking the meat. You'll need 2 pieces of twine about 3 feet long, one for the breasts and one for the legs. Lay it out as an upside-down U on your board. Place the breast roast on top. Pull the ends through the loop and pull them to the right and left. Flip the roast and tie. Now let's do the legs. Here is our upside down U. We're going to put the 2 legs together so that the thighs overlap and the drumsticks stick out. Put the ends through the loop, pull them to the right and left, flip the roast, and tie. By the way, if you're working with 2 left legs or 2 right legs, your roasts will look like this. Well, not that there are so many chickens running around with 2 left legs, but you might decide to make these roasts with legs that you buy already cut up in the store instead of breaking down your own chicken. Spread out the skin, and we're done! Now you give it a go! From Helen's Kitchen in Boston, happy cooking and baking to you!